If you thought that the season could not ramp up anymore, we have an action-packed week 3 of the LEC and of the LCS Lockin tournament to discuss in this video, as well as the results from week 2, which we'll get into right now. Day 1 of the LEC, 3 out of 5, we only dropped the Misfits XL game and the Vitality BDS game. Day 2, it's another 3 out of 5, gonna see a trend here. We only dropped the SKXL and the Vitality G2 series. And of the LCS side of things, we got a 3 out of 5 on day 1. Yeah, this was us dropping the TSM Golden Guardians game and the Dignitas CLG game. As for the round 2 of the Lockin tournament, the knockout stages as you would, we only dropped one of them. And that was the 100 Thieves versus Dignitas series, where Dig clean swept the Thieves off of the Rift for a 2-0 victory, because best of 3s are a thing. As for the rest of the series, we actually perfect predicted 2 of them, technically, even though I went for 3-0s. Shh. And also, the only one we didn't perfect predict was the the EG Golden Guardian series, where it was a 2-1 in favor of EG. Now that the prediction results are out the way from last week, let's move into this week's 17 Games of Wonder. And let's just roll on into the LCS Semifinals, as we have 2 best of 5s? I'm gonna guess at 5s. I don't actually know. They've not actually said if I'm aware of it. But anyway, TL Dig, 3-0 TL. Enough said. Dig did well to beat 100 Thieves. Granted, I have not watched the series yet, but they've clearly must have done well to beat the current LCS champs. That being said, TL are a different kettle of fish, kind of the favourites for the split, which we'll discuss probably in this week's Anarchy analysis, obviously, which is from last week, the 100 Thieves C9, and then the week before. Yeah, I'm double headering it. Shh. As for the other series, C9 EG, I have gone 3-1. It's going to be close, but not that close. And the reason being is, I expect C9 to get at least one game. EG are my favourites here in this matchup. I just love how Inspired is playing this season. He's just coercing enemies into him, man-baiting, destroying, and mansplaining his way through to victory. I don't know, I butchered that, but who cares? 3-1 EG, 3-0 TL are my predictions. The bottom of the table could not look any hotter. Our matchup of the week here is BDS versus Astralis. Yeah, as I just touted out its bottom of the table, it's gonna be fun. And personally, you don't expect too much here, although BDS have kind of shown a little bit more promise in terms of getting a win. Astralis have not got one. They've been close on a couple occasions, but this one is very, very hard to get, I think. BDS will come out swinging. More importantly, this is a big week for BDS. They face 2 teams that are right next to them in the table. SK are tied 9th with them, and obviously Astralis are in 10th. I personally think BDS will win here, and we'll get to the other prediction in a bit, but I think that one will be a lot closer than this matchup. I think this next game is going to be quite interesting, as the Mad Lads from Mad Lions face the XL Boys. I personally think that Mad will win this one, and I just have to look at the jungle matchup here. Marcoon versus Elyoya. Probably, I would say, 2 of the best performing junglers this split in the LEC. That being said, on top of that though, Elyoya is a step ahead, and he's performing very well. And honestly, Mad are doing alright, considering they're not really a split team, they're more of a playoffs team. And I think they'll coast through to playoffs. And they'll do it by picking up wins against teams they should realistically beat, like XL. Thank goodness I don't keep my outtakes. I'm glad that you're missing that one. But VIT versus SK is this matchup. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm a little giggly, but let's just discuss this straight up. Vitality are bouncing back. They're coming back stronger, and they picked up 2 pivotal wins to have a perfect week last week. They're going to continue to run. 3 wins in a trot. They're going to beat out SK. And I like that matchup personally because we get to see 2 very skilled supports doing battle. We also get 2 bot lanes that kind of have a lot of focus on this year as to performances being quite high. And realistically, then you look across the map, it should be favoured to Vitality. But we'll have to end up seeing if Vitality do pick up this win. However, results-based analysis would say they'll look to continue to form on. Arguably, this should be an LEC matchup of the week, as Rogue take on Fnatic in a semi-final rematch from summer last year. Last time these two faced off, Fnatic 3-0'd the boys in blue, but do I think that they'll be able to pick up a victory here against the other undefeated team in the LEC this year? No, I've gone with a Rogue win, because guess what? They do be a split team, as I say, and I personally think that they're gonna have fun here against Fnatic and show the Malrang demolition derby ball death cutscene that everyone wants to see. G2 Misfits rounds out day 1 of the LEC. Yeah, this is kind of a weird one. I guess G2 like to be on last off for some reason. God knows why. But it's gonna be a good chance to see them play against a team that's playing fairly decently this year. I think they're around about the same win-loss record these two teams combined. And yeah, on average I'd say G2 is slightly better on paper. But this is not paper, it's the Rift where we get to see action. And G2 I think will actually put that money where their mouth is and absolutely wipe the floor with Misfits to come back from tasting defeat to Perks last weekend. We kick day 2 off with BDS and SK. The other matchup where BDS is scrapping against a lower ranked team. Personally, I think this one is slightly harder than Astralis, and that's kind of why I've gone with an SK win here. SK realistically should have a bit of a torrid time against Vitality day 1, but that usually means they'll possibly prepare more for day 2, as it's more of a must-win game for them. As for BDS, this is a hard week for them on paper, so 1 out of 2 wins is realistically the best outcome for them in terms of what's reasonable. As such, that's kind of why I've gone for them losing here to SK. Another lower end of the table matchup, XL Astralis, set to do course on day 2. And you're going to be surprised here. I said I probably would not predict Astralis this year. And sadly for me, I've predicted Astralis to win. Oh man, what is wrong with me? Yeah, let's just say this. XL, I think, are a good team. They're solid. Astralis just have been getting better and better, I would say, as the weeks have gone on. And realistically, I think that they're going to pick up at least 1 win this week. Else, I think they'll probably have a coast run where they go 0-18. That's kind of my expectation here. But hey, who knows? honestly, the Misfits have had it rough for the past 3 games. Facing Fnatic, then facing off against G2, and now they face off against the Mad Lads from the Mad Lions. And yeah, this is where they show up or don't. They need to be able to contest against these big teams. While I feel that it'll be close against G2, I think it'll be even closer against the Mad Lads. However, in the end, it comes down to the jungle, and there's a big gap there. Sad to say this, but Zlatan has not really stepped up to the LEC level that we need him to be at for a jungler. And he's going up against probably the best performing player this year, Elyoya. And if Elyoya gets what he wants, he's going to control this map, and it's going to be very hard for the Misfits to get their lanes ahead when their jungler is having to deal with this absolute madman in the jungle. And that's realistically how I expect the matchup to go, though it's probably going to be close for the first 10 minutes, where Misfits will probably draft something to go early, and Mad probably will have some late game scaling, with Unforgiven probably on his Karthus. Vitality Rogue, yeah, big matchup. Personally, Perks versus Larson is always entertaining. And yeah, I just think it's going to be entertaining as Rogue have a very difficult week for themselves as they face Fnatic and then Vitality. Yeah, this is really going to be hard to say, but I've predicted a 2-0 week for Rogue against probably 2 of the tougher teams this year. And oh boy, I'm going to probably get hate for that comment, but who cares? Rogue are my boys. I've gone with them winning here. I just think that they're performing well. Like, you think how they lost the pieces that made them work, but then again you realize they're a textbook team. They follow a script to a T and play very well, and obviously when they have a script that worked so well last year, bringing in Malrang, who is a very unique jungler in the paths he takes, it kind of throws the textbook out the window and unlocks Rogue even more, especially with Odawame performing well in the top lane, and then Comp actually having a very decent laning phase that he was criticized so heavily for when he was on Vitality. So this is kind of a revenge matchup for him, one of which I kind of want to see him win. And finally, G2 Fnatic. This is kind of the new battle of the old guard, as SK in the Fnatic El Clasico really doesn't provide that much hype anymore. This matchup has more beef than ever, with Reckless gone down to Carmine Cup. That was kind of the rivalry last year, Reckless versus his former team. It was very reckless with their hearts. This year, there's a lot of wonder about how the top lane matchup will go, as the former G2 top, the third all-pro top laner last year, is having what could be considered a phenomenal start to the year. The old wonder is back, people have said. I've always been a fan of Wonder, but I don't know if he's able to beat Broken Blade on his own. And that's why you have junglers and mid laners and supports and ADCs. Yes, I used ADCs instead of bot laners. They provide you the rest of the map, and when you have probably the best jungler at the moment behind Elyoya, Razork, when you have definitely the best mid laner in Humanoid, bot lane, yeah, that's interesting because you have the best performing bot lane. Hilly God at the moment has been phenomenal. I think this is not even a close matchup. The only lane that I think is close are the lanes that are close is the mid and the top lane. The rest of the map is so Fnatic favored, and it makes a change for me to be talking so much hype around Fnatic instead of G2. Like, Fnatic had that slump period that we saw for a few seasons, and now they're performing exceptionally well. They've reached the heights that they were once at. They just need to make it back to Worlds and absolutely decimate, and also win an LEC split for the first time. There's only actually ever been 2 LEC winners, G2 and Mad. How crazy is that? Now, G2 on the other hand, it's sad to say, they're not a form team. They are a top 6 team, but they're not a top 4 at the moment, in my opinion. Whereas Fnatic are definitely top 2. They've got, obviously have 2. Again, it's going back to the Rogue situation, 2 tough matchups. Rogue had Fnatic and also they had Vitality. G2 had Misfits and then Fnatic. Fnatic have Rogue and then G2. That is some very hard competition for Rogue and Fnatic this week. But obviously, I think that Fnatic performed better in the split G2 versus Fnatic games. And that's why I think they're going to perform well here and beat G2. And with that, the predictions are over. Thank you once again to Akitasen on Instagram for these images. I'm going to keep doing it every video and she hates it. But there we go. Thank you very much for joining me. If you enjoyed this part, leave a like down below. Subscribe if you enjoyed or if you want to. And I will see you guys next time. Peace out.